I want to talk about what the real two-tier justice system is, where black and brown people are over-criminalized and over-incarcerated. I'd like to address the way my Republican colleagues are attempting to co-opt the phrase two-tier justice system. Two-tier system of justice is meant to refer to the very real system that exists in the United States and which affects black and brown folks, not powerful former presidents and their political allies. The real two-tiered system of justice is one in which, in 2021, according to the DOJ's Bureau of Justice Statistics, the imprisonment rate for black men aged 18 and 19 was 11.6 times the rate for white males. The two-tier justice system is one in which, according to a May 2018 Vera evidence brief, and I quote, black men comprise about 13% of the male population, but about 35% of those incarcerated. 1 in 3 black men born today can expect to be incarcerated in his lifetime, compared to 1 in 6 Latino men and 1 in 17 white men. The two-tier justice system is one in which an analysis of nearly 100 million traffic stops across this country found that black drivers were about 20% more likely to be stopped than white drivers. My Republican colleagues seem to think that using criminal law as a weapon or a political tool is objectionable only when directed against someone who should be out of reach of the criminal system, someone too rich, too powerful, or too white to be charged. But let's face it, that same system has been used as a weapon and a political tool against black people since the Emancipation Proclamation. These racial disparities are rooted in a two-tiered view on race. The belief that black people were inferior, that was created to justify the enslavement of black people, which has now evolved to include the belief that black people are more prone to criminality. During the decades of lynchings that followed enslavement, white people defended the torture and murder of black people as necessary to protect property, families, and a way of life from black criminals. In the 1980s, Nixon's war on crime evolved into Reagan's war on drugs, and we saw harsher and more frequent punishments and the start of mass incarceration. In both cases, it was black people who were targeted and suffered under those policies. There's a reason that crack cocaine, which carries a stereotype of being used by black people, was at one point punished far more harshly than powder cocaine. Prior to 2010, that ratio was 100-1, meaning someone convicted in a federal court of possessing crack cocaine will receive the same sentence as someone who possessed 100 times more powder cocaine.
If you have a piece of crack cocaine no bigger than this quarter, we passed a law through the leadership of Senator Thurmond and myself and others, a law that says if you're caught with that, you go to jail for 5 years. You get no probation. You get nothing other than 5 years in jail. Judge doesn't have a choice.
These Republicans and Trump have complained about a two-tiered justice system, co-opting the language of the decades-long civil rights movement for black lives and black freedom. The language, two-tiered justice system, has a real history with the Groveland Four black boys from Central Florida who were falsely accused of kidnapping and sexually assaulting a white woman when they pulled over to help her when the car was broken. Charles Greenlee was sentenced to prison for life. He was 16 years old. Now, just a quick trigger warning here for Black death and trauma, but it's an important story to tell when we talk about the two-tier justice system. Because on the way back from the courthouse, the sheriff took it upon himself to shoot the 2 remaining individuals, Walter Irvin and Samuel Shepard.
Beam me up, Scotty. There's no intelligent life down here. None.